Mongolia, horsemen from the steppes. North of China lies the nation of Mongolia, the largest landlocked country on Earth. Today, it is also the world's most sparsely populated nation. The barren desert, called the Gobi, stretches across the southern part of the country. Much of the rest consists of grassy, treeless plains known as steppes. In this inhospitable land, rainfall is rare and the winters bitterly cold. The Mongol people. The native people of this land, known as Mongols, lived nomadic lives as herdsmen, following their sheep, goats, and yaks between summer and winter pasture land. Rather than settle in towns or villages, they carried their dwellings with them in the form of tents, known as yurts. The Mongolian word for yurt is gur. Because resources were scarce, Mongol tribes fought among themselves and sometimes raided the cities of Korea and northern China. Mongol warriors were superb horsemen. Riding short, muscular horses, they charged into battle, firing arrows from their bows at full gallop. Mongol raiding parties could strike quickly and then rush back to the steppes, evading the less agile forces of their victims. The leader of the Mongols was a man named Genghis Khan, who was born Temujin in 1160. His father was poisoned. He murdered his brother. He married the chieftain's daughter and became a strong leader. He formed alliances among the Mongol tribes. He was proclaimed the leader or Khan in 1206. He was then known as Genghis Khan. He gathered Mongol armies and began to conquer northern China, Afghanistan, and Persia. Kublai Khan was Genghis's grandson, who establishes the Yuan dynasty in China and would control the Silk Road. Notice the pictures, the artwork on the board representing the Mongol war machine. Also notice the extent of the Mongol Empire. Consider how far to the east did the Mongol Empire extend, and how far to the west did the Mongol Empire extend. Also practice your numeracy skills. Take a look at the chart on the board showing the largest empires by land mass. You can see the empires listed across, and you can see the area, the amount of land they covered. We'll see in the Mongol Empire that Genghis Khan had died in 1227. Then his empire was divided into 4 khanates. Genghis's son Ogadai became the Great Khan. Russia, Poland, Hungary, Baghdad, more of China and Korea invaded and conquered. In 1260, Genghis's grandson Kublai became the Great Khan and established the Yuan dynasty in China. The Mongols had even introduced Islam into Central Asia. The Mongol legacy from your textbook tells us the Mongols left a mixed legacy. Tens of millions of people died in the course of their conquests, and millions more migrated, fleeing the Mongols' fierce advance. Some historians think that Mongol armies carried the bubonic plague westward, where it would surface in Europe as the Black Death of the 14th century. Despite the devastation of their conquests, Mongol rule encouraged widespread cultural diffusion, including the introduction of Islam into Central Asia. Above all, the Mongols increased trade and communication between East and West. Europe especially benefited from the introduction of Chinese inventions such as printing, gunpowder, and the compass, technologies that Europeans would eventually employ to dominate much of the rest of the world, including China itself. This next chart will show you the Mongol legacy, some positive developments from Mongol rule, and finally negative developments from Mongol rule. So positive developments may include a movement of people and ideas, improved trade routes, markets expanded, demand for products grew, trade on the Silk Road revived, safety for travel and trade, and religious and cultural tolerance. Negative developments from the Mongol rule included death, destruction, and the plague.